Hello and welcome back to LTC Heroes Live. We are at Missouri Healthcare Association 2022 in Branson, and today I'm joined by Matt Gould. He's the administrator of the Manor at Elfindale. Matt, did I get that right?
You did.
Matt, I'm really excited to have you on the program. I'm guessing you've been coming to this convention for a number of years, and you have some special friends. Who is the first person that you wanted to go up and give a big hug to because you hadn't seen him in 6 months?
That would probably be my friend Mike Baldus, best administrator I know.
And tell me what makes him a great administrator. What do you remember about his great work?
He can do everything in a home. He makes sure the residents are taken care of. He can do the maintenance, which I can't do.
Well, Mike, I want to meet you. We all need a Mike in our life.
I'd be willing to. Mike will be here.
Yeah.
He's here. I've seen him. He'll come by.
Well, Matt, I like to get to know individuals and leaders in long-term care by knowing how they first got into this industry. And I'm going to ask you to get into as much detail as possible. What was your first day like? Do you remember, was it a volunteer? Was there a specific person? And then also try to get into when you realized I might be a lifer. I love this.
I sort of fell into long-term care by the back door. I was working at a hotel and answered an ad in a paper, and they were looking for district managers for long-term care. It was a contract company, and I answered the ad, got the job, and showed up in my hometown of Springfield, Missouri, at the nursing home. And probably my first week there for this contract company, the administrator at the time said, you should get your nursing home administrator's license. And so 5 years later, I did get that license.
Was there something specific about long-term care that you said, I'm going to follow this advice? Was there something emotional or something about the people you worked with or the people you served?
It was really about the people that we serve. Nursing homes get a really bad rap in the country today, and the reality is that there's so much love and care and compassion that goes on in there, and I'm a people person. I like people, and the people that are in our homes are the people that made this country. They're the people, the fiber of life today.
When I talk to long-term care leaders, I like to understand who is there. When they think of a frontline caregiver, what are the characteristics of that person? What are they passionate about? What motivates them? What wakes them up in the morning? What's their favorite thing to do? When I tell you a great frontline caregiver that you want to work with, what does that person look like?
And we have so many of them. It's somebody that has the compassion and the caregiver that they want to help people. A lot of the people that we care for can no longer care for themselves, and somebody that wants to share their life with the other person. It's that connection, the engagement. The reality is, in our home, we have very involved families. But at the same time, the people are lonely, and they need that connection with the caregiver. They got to be willing to make a connection with the person that's providing the care.
I'm going to ask you for a couple shout-outs, because when you were talking about that person, you probably had a couple people in mind. But I want to encourage you to think about somebody who might not have a license. They might not be a CNA. They might be a landscaper or someone doing laundry or preparing food. You have a local long-term care hero that you were thinking of. Who are some people inside of your organization that you're like, they make this place better?
We have a nurse in our memory support, Terry Smith. She's been there, I think, 18 years. Shows up day after day to take care of people with dementia that are unable to process, and she just has that patience and love. You really have to have the patience to help take care of people with dementia.
If I were to ask, you've mentioned Mike and you mentioned Terry, if I were to ask them your leadership style, what would they say about your style?
I think they'd say that I care, that the residents come first and foremost. You have to treat the our job is to take care of the residents, but you have to treat the staff well too, because they're the key. If we don't treat them well and then we expect them to turn around and provide that love and care to the residents, it doesn't work.
Would you say that you lead by example, by inspiration? Are you hands off and you're go do it, or you let the team support and you show up when someone needs you?
I would say I do a lot of things. I am not a hands-on as far as providing the care, but certainly I'm there to support. And if something needs to be done within whatever it is. Again, I'm not the hands-on caregiver. Of course, they do accuse me of being a nurse. A lot of times I say, well, I'm the only nurse here, so.
Well, I always think that if we want to attract young people into this industry, we need to do a better job of changing the perception. And one of the ways that we change our perception is we talk about how our leaders are different. You're a leader for many people in your team, and there are going to be a younger generation who might join our industry. So I'm going to ask you to take off your humble hat and tell me what's something that you've done really well in the last 10 years that you're like, you know what, I wouldn't tell everybody this because I'm a little bit too humble. I'm from Missouri, but there's a 15-year-old who might join our industry and they might want to work with someone like yourself. What's something you're proud of that would inspire someone young?
There's a lot of things I'm really proud of in our home. We've had 5 deficiency-free surveys in the last 10 years. Our home was rated number 1 in the state of Missouri for survey history out of 510 homes. And the thing that I'm probably most proud of, though, is all the cards and letters that I get from family members thanking us, not me specifically, but thanking us for providing that love and care for their family member in the last days of their lives. We see people in the twilight of their lives, but they had a life before they came to us. They were a mother, a father, a brother, sister, worker, and they don't stop being people just because they come into a long-term care setting. They're still people. They still have feelings and love, and I'm just proud to be a part of that.
Matt, before we move on to some quotes that I'm going to read to you that have inspired me and get kind of your observation on it, I want to take just a small break to thank our sponsor, Missouri Healthcare and Experience Care. So we'll be right back. Okay, confession time. Yes, I host the LTC Heroes Podcast. Hopefully you know that by now, but I can't take all the credit. I have to thank Jason Long, the CEO of Experience Care. He told me to start this platform 2 years ago, and without their support, we wouldn't be here today. Go over to visit experience.care to see the best EHR in the market. Also, a special thank you to Missouri Healthcare Association for inviting LTC Heroes to this special convention. If you like the show, go over to ltcheroes.com and subscribe today. Thank you. Matt, the question the quote that I'm going to read for you that makes me think is one from Jerome. It says, "I like work. It fascinates me. I can sit and look at it for hours." What's your favorite thing to observe inside of long-term care or senior living organization? Do you like to see the hustle and bustle? Do you like to see the eyes? Do you like to see the stories? Do you like to see the faces? What do you love to watch?
I like to see the people. The residents. They are fascinating. To talk to them and to look at the pictures that they bring with them and to visit with their families and to see the interactions with the staff, the team members, and the residents.
Matt, this next quote is from Oscar Wilde, and the reason I like it is because it often makes me think about how the job has changed me. And it goes like this: the best way to appreciate your job is to imagine yourself without one. How has long-term care affected who you are as a person when you go home?
That's a really good quote, by the way. It has given me purpose in life. At one time, I didn't feel I had purpose, and to be a part of caring for people and serving people, it's the best job in the world. I've been blessed by more than I deserve and need in life. I have a job that I love. It's like any job, there is no perfect job, but it allows me to help somebody else as I was helped along the way in life.
I can relate to that. Thank you for sharing those words. Matt, I want to move into some rapid-fire questions. Okay. This is one of my favorite rapid-fire questions because I get some really interesting answers from it. Is if you could have one giant billboard on the outskirts of your city that thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of people would see on the highway over the course of a year, what would that billboard say and why?
Long-term care is a place to live and love.
I like it. The last one I got from Chris McBratney was long-term care rocks. My last question for you, Matt, is in the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life? Belief, behavior, or habit that's improved your life?
This too shall pass. It's all going to pass. When it's good, it's going to pass, and when it's bad, it's going to pass. And the pandemic will pass.
Matt, thank you so much for joining the LTC Heroes. It was a pleasure. Hopefully I'll see you at the winter convention in Missouri. Thank you to Michelle Walters and the team that's invited us and introduced us together. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
Want to connect with leaders in long-term care? Go to www.ltcheroes.com to join our community on Facebook and LinkedIn. Get exclusive access to marketing tips, SOPs, and insights from prominent voices in the industry. Only at ltcheroes.com.